Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sarra Show. Today's guest is Brendan Boyd. Hi, Brendan.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm excited to be here. Thanks. I'm happy we was able to make it work.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to have you here. Things always happen in the way they're supposed to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, you know, we're looking to bring one of my clients into the space, which is gonna happen, and I think it would be an amazing conversation. But you know, God wanted me here first, so we're here.
Exactly. You're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And you're here because of your integrity.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
You know, you were being your word. You actually asked how you can make it up. You decided to pay for it.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you for anything.
Nope.
But
and I paid right away.
You showed up that way.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you be that way?
That's a good question. Because I know how it is on the other end. I know how it is when people waste your time. I know how it is when people take advantage of opportunities because these opportunities are free or they don't come with you having to pay for them. And since I've been through that, you know, I value that in other people, you know, so I went let's use what happened in real time. You know, we had something set up, something came up, client could no longer honor said time. So I'm like, all right, cool. What can we do to rearrange it? Your time wasn't available later. Their time wasn't available later. At the end of the day, the time costs, so at least let's take care of that. Then we can figure out the other thing, right? Because what that does is it maintains the integrity, but also the value of the relationship, right? So the value of the relationship is still intact, because we were talking about money. That's not a great reason to sever a relationship. The relationship is way more valuable. So to me, it's an easy decision. It's like, okay, $100.
That's easy for you, though.
Yeah.
Like, so many people don't have that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
You know, integrity is not a big thing for a lot of people. It's so easy for people to actually break their word.
Yeah.
I get it. Things happen all the time. You know, it's not about being rigid and sticking to things that they're supposed to be. We got to pivot. We got to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about honoring your word and keeping the relationship. But I don't see that a lot, unfortunately.
Because it's easy for people to do the easy thing. And the easy thing is just to, like, not face what someone would feel is the hard thing. So what would be the hard thing or the uncomfortable thing? The hard thing or the uncomfortable thing would be like, oh, this is not going to happen, so let me communicate. Which still sounds easy, but for some people it's hard because they don't want to have to deal with, like, a tough conversation or what may be perceived as a tough conversation, right? I'll give you an example. So last week we did a big 3-day event. Me and a business partner, he's in the speaking space. I'm in a podcast space. I had an idea. I'm like, we should collab. And when we do events, you know, speaker podcast mastermind. So it's basically you bring your people, I'm bringing my people. I'm teaching them something that they don't know. You teach my people something that, you know, they don't know. And then obviously it's something that attracts a new audience. So fast forward, a conversation came up later and it was like, you know, I want to give the speakers the content, right? And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not just giving that away. I feel like they should invest in it. They need to pay for it. I've been on big stages, whether I paid for them or didn't pay for them, but I still had to pay for the content if I wanted the content folder of me high res in 4K doing my thing on stage. The actual file of me speaking, I had to pay for that. Now it might have been $250 or $350 or maybe $500, which is not a lot, but I'm investing into my personal brand and I know what I can do with that content. So I'm like, no, they need to pay for it. He's like, no, I don't want to pay the people that came to speak at our event. And I'm like, well, let's look at the costs right now. Me and you know, we went 50-50 on the event. So let's call it $6,000, 3 in, both of us, hard costs. Now, let's talk about the time. For me to get the files, I now have to buy a hard drive, right? Whether I physically drive to the location because we couldn't get it that day, or whether I Uber, there's time and cost of me now to go pick it up. Now, once I have the files, I gotta upload them, and that's more time, right? And then once they upload, they need to be transferred. Now, you want to just give that away? To me, that doesn't make sense because if they came with their Osmo, if they came with their phone, if they had the tripods, if they came with a second shooter, they already left with content that we didn't charge them for. And I'm cool with that. You want to bring your own thing and set it up? Go crazy. And they got testimonials, and they got content, and they got ads. they took advantage at the time. And that's fine, right? I'm not charging you for that. But if you want the 4K with the full audio, you know what I'm saying, with the camera angles, the heavy files, why are we giving that away? To me, it don't make no sense. First of all, it's already been paid for by us. So now you just want to give it away? So long story short, you know, sometimes you gotta bend, you know what I mean? You have to work with the people that you're working with. And I'm like, if you want to give it to the people, cool. In our relationship, I'm the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? He's more nice. So I'm like, you want to give it to him, cool. That's never happening again. There's no way moving forward I'm ever gonna do an event where I'm just gonna give that content away. Or you have a choice. You can either sell XYZ amount of tickets, guaranteed, and it'll come with, you can have your files. Or if you don't sell no tickets and you want to have your files, you just pay for the files.
There are different formulas, right? Like different formulas and strategies, if you may, for, I don't know if you want to call it success or creating something.
Yeah.
Right? And every time it's different. I don't think there's like
there's no custom.
There's no one rule that applies to all. It really is different based on the situation every time.
And I've been in different situations. So I'm not a speaker. I speak, but I'm not a speaker. I didn't go out there and seek out to become a speaker. It's because I have a level of expertise in a particular space, and because I have that, speaking opportunities have come and they continue to come. Like people either want me to speak or I create my own stages.
What's your expertise on?
So I have two expertise. Well, I guess my highest level of expertise is just marketing as a strategist. I can kind of like see certain things, you know. But if I had to break them into two nuggets, what I do, the value that I give is I help entrepreneurs with proven offers get more exposure by getting them on podcasts and other opportunities so people can know who they are, what they do, and how they help people. And then the other thing that I do is podcast entrepreneurs and anyone with a podcast, I can teach them how to monetize it without a large audience, without brand deals, and without sponsorships. You don't need a lot of subscribers to do it. So those are the two things that I do. Now, in real time, I'm always leveling up and getting more information and learning new things. But those are the two things that I really speak about.
How'd you get into the space?
I realized that relationships are important, right? And for you to develop relationships, one of the easiest ways to cheat code is this, right? So if I would have hit you up randomly and I was like, can I spend an hour of your time just, you know, could we go to Starbucks? And I don't know everything you got going on, but your profile looks fire. I'll buy you a coffee. Just meet me at Starbucks on Biscayne. You ain't showing up to that. You're like, yo, this dude's a weirdo stranger. He trying to extract my brain. I got no time for that. But if I'm like, hey, listen, I got a podcast. I see what you got going on. It looks fire. I would love to learn more about your story, what you do, how you help people. You're coming to that every single time. So once I realized that, and 99 out of 100 people always said yes, I was like, okay, I can meet who I want, whether it's mobile. And my first podcast was mobile. I just had it in a suitcase. I took it everywhere I went.
You interviewed people on the street?
At that time, I just did mobile interviews. Like, if I was going to a city, I would always just bring it. So if I stayed in an Airbnb, I'd just set up like, you know, podcasts in the Airbnb. Now I do both. I do virtual. So I got a virtual show that I do. I do street interviews as well. And then I do the traditional podcast style. What's
the most awkward moment you've had during an interview in one of your podcasts? You don't have to drop names or anything.
Yeah. Awkward?
A weird or, you know, unusual.
Someone just smelling, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, not even a body odor, just like the mouth, you know what I'm saying? Just the mouth ain't right. You know what I mean? And I figured the best way to basically kind of bridge that, because sometimes it could be offensive. You know the Listerine strips? I left them in the car, but if you have some Listerine strips, if you open it up and then put one in your mouth and then offer the person one, they'll take it every time. And that's basically how you gonna take away that problem. Okay. So normally I have like some Listerine strips with me. But yeah, it was just like, it's tough to have a conversation when the person's unpleasantly smelling. You know what I mean?
What's the most awkward comment or question or something someone said on a podcast?
It probably was something sexual. You know what I mean? But it wasn't really, oh, you know what? Yeah. Like the person that I was being interviewed by, they were kind of like hitting on me. So I guess that was awkward because I ain't come for that. You know what I'm saying? So it was, you know, it was a little awkward, but you know, you pivot.
Right.
Yeah.
If we were to take away technology, right? Because what you're teaching right now, what you're coaching on and how you're helping people, is based on technology, right? It's internet, it's podcasting. It's if we were to strip away all the technology, how would you make your money?
Well, I would probably make it a little slower potentially, but it would still be the same thing because at one point there was no internet. At one point there was no Wi-Fi, but people still need to know who people were. So if you are an author, speaker, if you was an entrepreneur or inventor and engineer, people still need to know who you were. So traditional media still existed, but it was like journalism, TV, news, editorials. So PR still existed, but now it just moves faster and it's smaller containers, and literally anyone could create content and put people in position and be able to monetize it. So I might be doing the same thing if it literally ended right now, because I like it. If I did the same thing, it's possible. If I pivoted and did something to it, I probably would just go way harder into like mergers and acquisitions and buying businesses because I'm attracted to that. And then also Bitcoin, like cryptocurrency, is very attractive.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you
actually no? That I couldn't do that because there's no technology.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Miami?
But I could buy businesses without technology.
You can.
No. I grew up in Boston and I lived in LA for 5 years. So I just came here.
Cool.
I'm like 10 months in.
Oh, you just got here.
Yeah.
I lived in LA for 5 years too.
It's different.
It's very different.
It's different.
What brought you to Miami?
I was coming a lot 2023 and it was just the energy. Well, every time I came here, I was either hosting an event, doing an event, speaking at an event, making some money. I was warm. The vibes was good. I like wearing shorts, so I always had some shorts on. You know what I mean? And then the only thing I had to get used to was just the weather in the summertime because that heat be going crazy.
Yeah.
But once you're used to it, it's not too bad. But then every other part of the year is phenomenal. Like as soon as the fall comes, you're like, yo, this is great. And then winter's even better than that. Springtime's, So it's like the reverse season and here are even better than summertime.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. You were mentioning relationships, right?
Yeah.
And you said, I realized that relationships are about creating a connection with people and giving them some sort of value. What else have you realized, especially in an era where it's all about technology and AI and a lot of people are just behind their screens and we're having a lot of hard time connecting with people one-on-one, and I feel like that's something that's missing.
Yeah.
Or that's becoming like a white space. And people are not, especially the younger ones who are growing up with this technology, it's getting more and more awkward for them to know how to create these sort of connections. I even see it at the gym or, whatever Pilates classes or my bar classes that I go to. People don't talk to each other at all. And it wasn't like that before. You'd go somewhere and you say hi, you talk. I'm also from Morocco. We talk to everyone. It's a warm culture. What is it about relationships from what you've learned that you can share with us that can be very helpful, a tip that can help someone make a shift immediately?
I like to look at life like Super Mario Brothers. Remember Super Mario Brothers?
Of course.
All right. So
I played Super Mario.
Super Mario Brothers. So if you think about Super Mario Brothers, there was always an opportunity. That opportunity came from a brick or the opportunity came from a question box. But you couldn't get the opportunity if you wasn't willing to break the brick or hit the question box. So everyone that you're navigating through day with is an opportunity. You have an opportunity to speak to this person. Now, whether it's going to be hi, hello, maybe there's some type of interest there. Maybe you see someone at your gym because you mentioned that. You're like, yo, I see you a lot. Let's just kind of connect, vibe out, whatever. You never know what's on the other end if you don't break that brick or hit that question box, if you don't say hello to somebody, if you don't introduce yourself. So it could be a business partner. It could be a connector. It could be a best friend. It could be someone that, maybe you just moved here and you need your community. You need your person, right? Maybe it's someone that's going to motivate you or hold you accountable. Maybe it's someone that you're just going to go to the gym with or work out with, right? So you're not going to go through life taking advantage of, or rather not taking advantage of the opportunities and then have something better on the end. That's why I talk to people everywhere I go. Even if I'm saying hi to someone, I'm gonna shake the room up. I'm gonna say what's up. My energy gonna speak. And sometimes for some people that might just be what they need. Cause like you said, no one's saying hi to them. Like earlier today, I paid for this girl's she got like a juice. I paid for the juice. Cause I wanted to. She was like, oh my God, no one's ever done that. I'm like, okay, well, enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it's like I did something that might impact her day. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe, and I'm not, it has nothing to do with anything financially, but let's just say randomly, she didn't have the money, or she was like, I need this juice, but like, I don't get paid till tomorrow or something. Like, this juice is gonna, like, you know, and I was a blessing or something to her. At the end of the day, it's all energy, and we all humans, and we all people. So we need to be nice to each other. And those are moments that we can take advantage of. You know what I mean? That's why, like, if I go to a restaurant and I got leftovers, I know where the homeless people are, where I live at. So I'm always dropping that off. Or now, I never used to carry cash. Now I carry cash because if they need cash, I can't give them crypto. I can't give them digital. I can't give them the Apple Pay. So it just gives me an opportunity to be a blessing to someone. But you got to break the bricks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to break the bricks. Nothing ever bad happened to Mario when he hit an opportunity. What came out of it? A shell, a mushroom, a tail, the invisible star. When you get the star, you go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So there was always good things that came out of him.
At worst, he became smaller when he hit one of the...
But he didn't die.
Right.
You had to get hit twice to die. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And I think small would be like if somebody didn't receive, you know, your intentions properly. And that might just be ego. Ego might make you feel small. You may be like, damn, like, I try to be nice to this person and they didn't receive it. So you might feel small on the inside, but you still have other opportunities to hit another brick and get big again, you know?
Right. And it's not on you, right?
Nah, you gotta, it all comes with it.
Yeah,
it all
sure.
comes with it.
What's the biggest mindset shift you've experienced?
Oh, that's easy. You can make a lot of money in a small amount of time.
Okay.
That's the biggest mindset shift.
Tell me more.
So one of my mentors, Myron Golden, he talks about, you know, you can make a lot of money in a small amount of time, more than you can make a little bit of money in a long amount of time. So what's a long amount of time? A year. So the average U.S. citizen makes $60,000 in a year. But if you learn a high level skill and you do some leverage, you can make $60,000 in a month, or in a week, or in a day, or in an hour, or in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So once I got that shift, I was like, that's crazy. I was like, and I never saw it again. I never saw it the same, never approached this the same. And I've always looked at money differently since I had that mindset shift.
If you've been feeling stuck mentally, emotionally, energetically, I created something just for you. Get Unstuck is a gentle guided workbook to help you come back to yourself. In just 10 steps, you'll clear your mind, soften into truth, and choose a new way forward. It's simple, powerful, and made with so much love. If this speaks to you, you'll find the link in the show notes. How did the mindset shift happen for you? Is it something that you actually experienced and it happened to you, or is it just you just saw the possibility for it out there?
It was both. It was both for real. So like once he said it, I was like, yo, that's crazy. It's kind of like someone removed a veil. I was like, yo, this was here the whole time. Like, why am I 30 something years old at the time and just finding this out? Like the whole time? And it makes sense because if you think about like people in the stock industry or hedge funds, they're moving billions of dollars, millions of dollars. So why have I never even thought that I can move money too? Like why did I just think I can only aspire for six figures because that's what somebody told me? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's possible, like it's available to you out there.
But it was available the whole time.
Right.
It might have just been available differently. Technology speeds things up, but it was available the whole time. But nah, I've experienced it in real life too. Like, I've had an 80K week. You know what I'm saying? I've had a 100K month. I've had a 45K minute. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to like brag or boast or anything. But once I realized it was possible, it was possible. I got hella friends that be doing $250,000, $500,000 in a month, $1 million in a month. Right? So that means, well, if they can do it, it's possible. So that means I could do it. And making $60,000 in a year, I wouldn't say it's a choice, but it's a decision that you made because you haven't decided to learn a leveraged skill or high level skill and then help somebody with it. And then once you can do that, it's just math. Math is something that people just don't want to do. I'll give you an example. Last week at the event, workshop day, we're helping people with their offers and stuff like that with the stuff that they're selling. I'm like, all right, who knows how much they want to make in a month or the year or whatever? First of all, nobody knows. Second of all, once they say they know, I'm like, all right, well, what you selling? They say, what you selling? All right, cool. How much do you need to sell? No one knows. So how the hell are you going to get to your goal in a month or your goal in a year when you don't have your prices right? You're not clear on your goal. But even if you have your prices right and you're clear, you don't even know the math. So if you don't know the math, you have no way to navigate there.
So what, are they winging it?
That's what everyone does, though. If you ask an average entrepreneur, they don't know how they're going to get leads. They don't have a clear goal of how much money they want to make in a month. And they don't know how many people it needs for them to get that. They don't know. And I used to be that way. Because you're like, oh yeah, I want to make 100,000, but when do you want to make it? What are you selling? How many calls or how many clicks do you need? How much exposure do you need? Because it's simple. It's like, if I want to make $1 million and I have a 20K offer or 20K, product or service, I need to sell 50. Now, 50 don't sound like a lot. So if I was going to sell 50 with a 10% conversion rate, that means we need to have at least 500 phone calls. This is like if our sales is not that great, 10% conversion rate. And that means we need to get at least 5,000 people that know that we do this thing. So that means I just need to focus on getting 5,000 people minimum to see or hear about what I got going on. So I'm going to run and do that first. I'm not worrying about closing the sales because by virtue of math, we're going to at least close 50. And this is if we suck. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So by knowing that, you can be like, damn, I could do $2 million on the same offer if I just get 10,000 people minimum to know what I got going on. And some people are not going to close right away. Some people might be a week out, 2 months out, whatever. But the more people that know what you got going on, like one of my friends always says, the more people know you, the more people can flow you. So if they don't know who you are, you're not going to be selling or hitting your goals. But if people know who you are every single day, then it's going to be easy for you to get there.
Right. What's the fastest way for people to make money?
I think the fastest way for people to make money is to understand it. You know what I'm saying? I think you need to understand financial literacy, and you can't save your way to wealth, but you can get wealthy by understanding financial literacy.
You can't save your way to wealth.
Nah. Okay, cool. So if the average U.S. citizen makes $60,000 in a year, let's say, expenses and all that stuff. Let's say they able to save $10,000 in a year off that 60. How long would it take them to save $100,000? Maybe 10 years if they're being frugal. But if you understand financial literacy, you can go get $100,000 from the bank in maybe 30 days or 60 days or something like that. Now you're using other people's money. And you can use other people's money to make you money because that's how the country works. So why wouldn't you work like the country works? We got the biggest deficit, but they still moving and grooving.
That's right.
So you can't save $100,000 fast. But if you get your credit together, get an LLC structured, understand some financial literacy, work with some people. If you can't do it on your own, you can get access to six figures. And the thing about it is this: once you get access to funding, you can keep getting more money. Like they want to give us the money. Now we just need to learn what do we build, what do we buy, that's cash flowing, that can generate the money, that can pay off, that could basically service the loan or service the credit card, and then you just make more money.
You've mentioned that you've made $100K in a month before. How'd you do that?
Why'd I do it?
How?
Basically using the same example that I just showed you. So it was on my pod agency offer that helps entrepreneurs get more exposure. And, we sold over 5 of them in a month. So, we made over 100,000. But if you really think about it, that's selling one thing a week. You know what I'm saying? Like when you really break the number, that's why I say the math actually sounds really crazy when you really break it down.
If you have the right offer though. right?
I mean, even if you have okay, think about this. If someone says, Sarah, do you want to be a millionaire? What would you say?
Of course.
All right, I want to be a millionaire. Now, if someone said to you, you need to sell 1,000 things, would you still want to be a millionaire?
Yes.
Okay, but 1,000 things doesn't seem bad, right? If someone said you want to be a million, you want to work 100 years, does that sound, or 1,000 years? Does that sound good? Would you want the million in 1,000 years?
In 1,000 years?
Yeah.
No.
You wouldn't even be around for it.
Right.
If they was like, do you want the million in 100 years? Would you take that?
No.
You might not be able to use it.
Well, I'm not gonna be here.
You might. It depends. Women live longer than men. You know what I mean? You know, you might be on a cane or in a walker, but you a million up. You know what
Not
I'm
at
saying?
140, no.
So right. So what I'm saying to you is this: if you can sell 1,000 things that cost $1,000, that's $1 million. If you can sell 500 things that cost $2,000, that's $1 million. So if you just do the math is gonna math, and now you just have to figure out what's my what's my $500 what's my $500 thing, what's my $2,000 thing, what's my $1,000 thing. Damn, if I sold a $5,000 thing, that's only 200 people. That sounds really good. Damn, if I sold a $10,000 thing, that's 100 people. That even sounds better. Now, if the goal at the end was $1 million and you needed to sell 100 things, would you focus on selling 100 things?
Mm-hmm.
And then it may not take you 12 months to sell 100 things, but if you sold 100 things in 12 months, does that sound bad?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So once I got that, I was like, bro, this don't even make sense. I feel like I'm cheating. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I know something a lot of people don't know.
But once you got that, you already were doing something that you were ready to sell.
Well,
right?
this is the thing, right? I had a clothing company. I mean, maybe this is a whole nother, we might need a part two. But I had a clothing company, and that clothing company was very influential. It was very impactful. A lot of, let's say the top artists now wore the stuff back then. We talking about, like the Drakes, the Kendrick Lamars, you know what I'm saying, the Chris Browns, Justin Bieber. A lot of these people wore the clothes, and we grossed 7 figures. Now, as soon as we grossed it, that was it. Like we never did it again because we didn't have structure, we didn't have coaching, we didn't understand financial literacy. We just selling clothes out the trunk. Got lucky, got a connection with China, started making real clothes.
But so you had no structure.
Hell nah.
You got lucky.
Yeah, we got lucky, but
you work hard for it, but you.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the timing was right, and when the timing is right, and you got something hot, it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Now, we didn't have structure. We didn't know what we didn't know. Didn't have no coaching, no guidance. I didn't have no financial literacy knowledge. I used all my cash. I leveraged my home at the time. You know what I'm saying? I just did a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have had to do if I would have been more knowledgeable, or if I would have had someone around me that had the knowledge. Now, I say that to say, with the information I have now, I would have been made that company multiple 7 figures. You know what I'm saying? And we did that. That company was 10 years. And it took us 10 years to make $1 million once. But I guess if you kind of like add up in totality of all the sales, yeah, we did more than $1 million. But it took us 10 years to do it, which again, is not necessarily bad, but it was gross. It's not like we left with $1 million each or something like that. We were still struggling because we had no budgets. You know what I'm saying? We was just 2 dudes out the hood selling trunks out the car. Selling clothes out the trunk. And then, like I said, it just kind of popped, Learned a lot of lessons in that. Some lessons personally, lessons in business.
Was it like kind of like you started a company from nothing, and then you were hustling and you made it to a certain extent, and then you plateaued at that place and you didn't have the skills and knowledge to continue to scale up?
Yeah.
Right?
Self-awareness was not there. Emotional intelligence and empathy was not present. You know what I'm saying? Communication skills is there, but they weren't popping. You know what I'm saying? Like it was very ego driven, and my ego is popping, yours is popping, we ain't gonna communicate, you know what I'm saying? Or like no structure, no discipline in the business, you know what I'm saying? It was just very, I don't even know how we did it, but we did some crazy stuff. Like there's a store in Paris that's no longer there. It's called Colette. It was renowned, one of the top streetwear like boutiques in the world. We did a collaboration with them. The clothes was in the store. I flew to Paris and bought my own stuff. That was the moment. You know, we did a collaboration with this BMX bike company called DK Bikes. We had 25 of our own bikes that people could buy. We shipped to them. We did a collaboration with Pepsi, one with Mountain Dew. We did a collaboration with this video game company. We did some real stuff. We invented the jogger sweat. You know the sweats that people be wearing with the little cuff out the bottom? We made that design. But we didn't know about mechanical patents. So we could have been billionaires off of that.
Right.
All these companies, those would have been royalties for us. We would have been straight. We didn't know we didn't know. You know what I mean? So
yeah. What happened to that brand?
again, I'm trying to tell you, the egos is crazy. So
is it like it's true, you know, like someone told me this once, like you cannot do who you're being. Yeah. Like if you're being a certain way and you don't progress and you don't evolve as a person, then your business doesn't either.
Yeah. Your business is basically a reflection of you. I evolved a lot back then for sure. And, like 2014 is when I got into real estate because I was like pivoting behind the scenes because I knew this joint wasn't going to last. So I was like, I'm going to get my real estate license. And I still wanted to sustain a certain lifestyle. I was making like $20K a month. At the time, I was like, I need to still do that. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Well, we're gonna sell these houses. We're going to rent these apartments. And then him and I just kind of like broke up, and it just was like nothing. It was like nothing happened. Like the brand was still there, but there was nothing going on. And then fast forward, I moved to LA, got my license there. So maybe this is 8 years later. When I came back to Boston, I was going back and forth between them, but came back to Boston. I had got a phone call. He wanted to like liquidate the business. And then we met up. I apologized to him. Like we had a really good conversation, and we were supposed to like sign the paperwork and everything to like liquidate. And I was like, bro, I got an idea. I'm like, we still got fans. We still got this crazy email list. I think we should come up with like a drop, like a quick strike drop. Like let's just make some tees, some hoodies. We can even remix old designs to come up with some. We could probably make a quick 50, 100,000. He was like, all right, I'm going to think about it. He was like, yo, that's a great idea. I'm going to think about it. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Next day he comes back. He's like, yo, bro, it's a great idea, but I want to do it without you. I was like, I'm going to have to get back to you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then I was just sitting on it. I'm like, all right, he's stealing my idea.
Could he even do it without you?
I mean, technically, yeah, I guess.
Oh, you had signed already?
No, I didn't sign yet.
Okay.
So I'm like, he's stealing my idea. He's telling me he's going to steal my idea. He wants to do my idea without me. How do I feel about this? So I sat with it for a while. I was like, how would I feel if he ran it up? Like, if it popped off, like, let's say he did crazy numbers, how would I feel about that? And I talked to a friend of mine that him and I both know. Just kind of like springboard and just having her be a sounding board for my thoughts. And I prayed. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm cool. I would be fine. So next day I was like, yeah, bro.
You let him have it.
You can do your thing, man. It's all you. He ain't do nothing since.
He didn't even do it.
Of course not, because I'm the one. And I'm not saying he ain't the one, but I'm the one. I'm the electricity.
The energy, yeah.
I'm the one that moved the needle. All the artists, celebrities, and entertainers that wore the product, I made that happen. All of the retailers online or in person or big box, I made that happen. All the collaborations, I made that happen. So I'm not saying he couldn't get a new me, but he can't get a new me. It would have to be someone else, and they ain't doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, nothing happened. And I'm not, this ain't no shade or no hate. Like him and I are good, but I'm just saying what it is, bro, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, he ain't doing nothing.
Your shirt says God time. Tell me, what does God mean to you?
God time. So basically, like I believe in God. I'm Christian, and I'm going a little deeper in my walk. You know what I mean? Like which is, I'm gotta be honest, this is a little crazy, because like I'm not having sex with women right now. which I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's kind of crazy for me to like turn down women. You know what I'm saying? But
You decided to not have sex.
yeah, but I mean, I'm not like on I'm not like what they call it, celibate.
Celibacy,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not necessarily celibate, but I'm definitely choosy. So like, I haven't had sex all 2025. You know, was it March?
It's been 2 months and a half, Brandon. Okay.
What, for you?
No, you're saying all of
No, it's
2025. It's only been 2 months and a half.
I meant, all right, well, maybe since December, maybe. Yeah, well, it's a big deal for me.
It's probably a big deal.
It's a big deal for me. It's not the not having sex part. It's the saying no part. So seeing me say no in real time is crazy.
So what do you mean? Women are jumping on you and you're like, no, I'm good?
Well, kinda. Not like I'm not in those environments crazy like that. But like
You are in Miami.
yeah, but you know, I use Miami as my backdrop for life. I'm not like in 11 going crazy. I don't be at the clubs.
Yeah.
No. I get up, get the sun, run, you know what I'm saying? Spend my time with God, whatever. But like I don't need that. I need the motivation, I need the energy. I needed somebody like we did a podcast with Tanner. Dude was walking out, McLaren 750, good looking girl, young. I mean, he looked pretty young. Doors is up, he getting in, they probably gonna go eat. Like that's the energy I need. I need to see successful people get into it. I need to see Ferraris, Lambos, Rolls Royces, healthy people, the water, the palm trees. You know what I'm saying? Good weather, great restaurants.
So the sex was a distraction.
That's what you got from that?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't distraction. No, it wasn't a distraction.
If you need to be in the energy of like all the energies that you described, and you need to be so focused.
I would rather have that connection with one person that I like.
Yes, definitely.
Versus randomness. I don't have the capacity for randomness. I'm trying to.
It's a distraction, is what I'm saying.
We need to do $1 million in a month. I can't be juggling women doing $1 million in a month. I ain't got the capacity for it.
Yeah.
So the brain power and the energy that's going to take me to achieve that, I can't be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
It's distraction is what I'm saying.
Then you were right on point.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, good for you. When did you decide that? December 2024?
Nah, you know what? It's not, well, yeah, I guess so. So the last girl I was dating with, we broke up pretty much on New Year's. And I didn't decide it consciously. It was like subconsciously. I've been out with women, but you know, since then, but like I be cool. Like I haven't been like excited about nothing.
Yeah, so. I read somewhere that the most successful men are focused on one woman. You know, the more women you have around, the more distracted, the more your energies. Yeah,
women, y'all are different. You know what I'm saying? Like I could just look at. Okay, I'm gonna use you for example, just because we on the podcast. I could just look at you all day. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, the energy y'all bring in the room. Like how God designed you, the femininity, like the soft tones, your perspective. I'm cool with a woman in the room all day. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
one woman.
Yeah. But just like even when I'm walking around in Miami, there's obviously tons of beautiful women. I can appreciate and not engage and be cool.
So how does it work for a man? Like, because we're not looking at men, we're like distract. How does it work for a man? Because he said if I just have one woman in a room, I can just focus on that all day.
And it's now. It's not like it was like that before.
But from a man's perspective, are we women so distracting to you, like on the street or whatever? 100%. Is it always on your mind?
Men are visual creatures, and y'all, women exterior value is very attractive. So we're talking about a face card, body, you know what I'm saying, shapes, curves, hair, smells. Yeah, all that is hella distracting. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like the way that God designed us or the way that we are, it's like we can't really get enough of of the appreciation. You can use your discipline and your discernment and not engage, but like you see a beautiful woman, you're gonna look or you're gonna at least notice. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. It's like,
is it always in like, you're talking about like, I know the physical aspect of it. Are we talking in more of like a sexual perspective, desire kind of like perspective, or what are we, and it's just how men are created and how women are created.
I think it's how we're created. I think our fleshly design is always going to move towards attraction. I think mentally we can appreciate, right? But you don't have to always move on the flesh. So like my gym, I feel like my gym is more of a feminine gym to me, because I feel like there's way more women in it than men, right?
Which gym do you go to?
I go to Miami Strong. And they definitely be wearing clothing that accentuates what they're building. You know what I'm saying? What they're developing in the gym. So, and I go to the gym with my glasses on, because these are special glasses. So I go to the gym with my glasses on. I got my tank top. I mean, I'm not bad to look at in the gym either. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? But women is different. Because I see a good looking dude, I'd be like, yo, you know, he got to work. He's going crazy. But I'm going to see a woman, I'm like, yo, she popping for real. Like, you know, damn, she's popping too. Those two, damn, you know, it's like, it don't stop at all.
It's mechanical. It just doesn't stop for you guys.
It don't stop. And I don't want it to stop, because women, y'all, your beingness is so powerful. Like, you can create life, you can start a war, you can end a relationship, you can inspire a man. You know what I'm saying? You could be, you know, the catalyst for a family. Like, there's a lot that can happen. Like, I feel like when I was in a relationship, I was inspired on a different level. Like, I wanted to take care. I wanted to continue to put myself in a position to be able to take care of her, and that inspired me. So like, y'all are the source for inspiration. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, when the masculine and the energy, the masculine and the feminine energy mix, I think that's a whole nother, you know, it's a whole nother thing. But a lot of women right now, they're in their masculine. It's like y'all are doing both. But like, if you have a connection with a man and he's able to like allow you to be your true feminine, it's gonna create a whole nother shift.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, no woman wants to be in her masculine.
I understand
unless
it.
she's forced to.
Yeah, United States of America forces you to.
Yeah, I don't think it's just the U.S. I've traveled a lot,
Yeah.
but I think we went the opposite
y'all
direction.
wanted that, yeah.
We didn't want that. That's a whole different conversation.
Okay.
We have to end it here.
Yeah.
Brendan,
So
thank you.
we'll talk about that when you come on my podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Brendan, thank you so much for being here. This was an amazing conversation. Any questions for me?
Yeah, what do you want out of life?
What do I want out of life?
Mm-hmm.
I want to experience the most I can experience. I live my life from a place of being curious. And I think there's always more, but not more from a place of being greedy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's so much. I can't just be content and just have that life where like, okay, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just chilling here. I'm just doing this work. I'm just looking for what else can I experience, you know? What else can I feel? What else can I do?
You want more.
I want to feel and experience more, you know? I think it's amazing that I'm here alive in this body right now.
We're renting this thing.
Exactly. And I think it's awesome. And I don't think we have enough time. And I don't want to waste it just being content with the everyday routine, regular stuff. So I'm always thinking of like, what else? Who else can I talk to? What else can I learn? What else can I experience? And that's what I want out of life. Experience the most that I can.
Can I ask you one last question before we out?
Yeah.
All right. What was it about when I was like, yeah, I'll just... We talking about the integrity earlier. So what was it about me being like, all right, cool. Well, I'll just take care of it.
There are so many men out there who would not have done that. Trust me,
Really?
I'm a 41-year-old woman. I've been there. You know, there are so many men who would not keep their word, and there are so many men who just would not actually or honor their word, or they would not do what you did.
Yeah.
They would just deny as if it happened. They would put that responsibility on you.
Yeah.
And they would just not assume the responsibility or own it, you know? So, and I think us women are struggling a lot with that. So seeing it was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. It still exists. Thank God, you know?
That's crazy.
So it's renewed hope. So thank you.
It was a no-brainer for me. You know what I'm saying? So.
And that's what I said. It might sound that way for you, but it's not like that. Trust me, it's not like that for a lot of men
Cool.
out
I just got to keep being me now, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep it up.
I appreciate the time on the pod. If y'all want to tap in with me, you hit me on Instagram. Just go to @isbrendanboyd. ITSBRENDANBOYD. We didn't really go crazy on a podcast though, but if y'all want some podcast game, go to 100kpodcastprogram.com. There's a whole free program teach how to monetize your podcast.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you share this episode and also hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Let's take a moment to reflect on the power of purpose. Sefamar, a leader in assembling vehicles in Morocco, builds more than machines. They create the essential vehicles that move us forward, connecting people, building cities, and enabling progress. Just as their trucks and buses carry people and materials, bringing to life a vision of growth and development, we too are vehicles, carriers of ideas, dreams, and deeper truths. At the Sarra Show, we embrace what it means to be human and to serve a purpose beyond ourselves. When we surrender to that purpose, we unlock our true potential. Sefamar's vehicles connect communities. We, in turn, connect hearts and minds. Thank you for joining us in this shared journey of creation and connection. Together, we are all vehicles for something greater.